I forgot to start filming. Mary came out and said, "Are you filming?" I said, "Oops." But anyways, I'm building a tent garage today. We have this one over here. That's a Harbor Freight cheapy thing. We bought that right when we moved in because we have stuff that does not fit in the house, in the basement. Can't go in the door. So we needed something just to cover it up. So we got that. But there's still a lot of stuff, especially the tractor that lives outside. And for the winter, we need some sort of shelter. So we bought this thing. This is Shelter Logic garage in a box. It's the, what is it, 13 by 20 or 12 by 20, something like that. SUV truck garage thing. So we're gonna put it here, kind of leaf blue this spot clean-ish, and gonna build this up. The tractor will go in here. I think maybe I can squeeze the lawnmower, whatever else, maybe the log splitter. I'm gonna squeeze as much as I can in here, but I'm thinking actually I might move the saws into this one. So it's a bigger space, might be easier to use them in there. And then the little one might just be storage. All this junk you see sitting around, all the toys and the wheelbarrow and, you know, the barbecue and everything, I might put that all in this little tent. But we'll see. We got to get this thing built first. Got the top section all put together. It's pretty easy. Next thing, I got to put all the legs together and then tip it up so I can put the legs on. That's going to be a little interesting. It's pretty heavy. I think it's kind of stiff enough where it won't fall apart. It's all bolted together, but yeah, we'll see how that one goes. Okay, quick update. I decided I got these 4x6 pressure treated timbers. I decided to set the sides on that. It's a 12-footer and an 8-footer. I basically spliced them together there. It's sitting on a block. Same thing on this side. And I've got this end kind of jacked up to more or less level it out. The left side here is still probably 6 to 8 inches low. So I think what I want to do is at some point I'm going to get some cinder blocks and just kind of jack up that left side to get this whole thing sitting a little bit more level. It's not too bad right now, but you know, it might make it look a little better, but This will work. I'm about to start putting on the end wall, the back wall, and the front, and then the tarp will go on. It's kind of windy today, so I may have to stop. But the frame is all tied down. It's all lagged. Well, I'll show you. I'm using these lag bolts into the timbers. I did 2 at each leg. Honestly, I think the timbers are probably doing more to keep this thing in place than the little, these cheesy little cables they send. I'm using these more or less just to keep things in their right position. So it's definitely taking longer than Little Tent did, but I'm trying to do it properly if I can. And obviously it's a lot bigger, so we'll see how getting the tarps on goes. All right, good progress. That wasn't too bad I just have the ends up. I'll show you that. Got the back end and the front with the zippers. So those are both installed. Definitely a little challenging with the wind, but they're up. I just got to get the tarp on now, which is gonna be tricky. But we'll do what we can. There we have it. Got that cover on. It was challenging with 2 of us. Having a 3rd person would have been a lot easier. But it's on, it's all tightened down. I may tighten it a little bit more after it kind of stretches a little bit, but it's all up there. I need to get on the inside and get the bottom attached all the way on both sides, but there it is. That's my tractor's home for the winter. This is the final step, so I'm going to show you. So all these cross members here is said to leave them finger tight before, and the reason is you take them apart and you slide the bars through these sleeves on the fabric, and then once they're all through, you reassemble them all nice and tight, and that will hold this to the pole and to the tent and keep it from flapping around like it is right now. So I got to do that all the way down on both sides, and then we'll be attached. I run into my first issue or manufacturing mistake, I'm not sure, but you see on this side, these pockets basically go a couple inches in from the pole pretty evenly all the way across, and they were all like that all the way. Over here, I don't know what happened. Their machine must have got off or something, but this end is okay, but then this cut is really in the wrong place. And then what has happened is now the beginning of the next slot is right here, right behind this pole. So that's not going to work. It needs to be over here somewhere. So I'm going to have to make another cut, like right in here, I think. And there's one more that's like that. This one here is like that too. You see it's right behind the pole basically. So I'm going to have to get the scissors out, I guess, and make my own slits. All right. I got the roll-up door installed, and I've got this rubber mat down on the ground. We had this in our other house in the garage to catch the drips and the snow melt coming off of the cars. Our other house, the garage wasn't sloped in any way. It didn't have a drain, and so the water would just like pool. So we use these. So I'm gonna put that in here. Potentially, it might get ripped when I have the tire chains on the tractor, but I think it's better than having it be on the ground and be a muddy mess. The roll-up door works pretty good. You have to start it by hand, but it uses these strings I did deviate from the rules a little bit. They wanted you to cut a slit way up there in the front of the tent to hang these pulleys from. But what I did is I used some extra pieces of cable that I had, and I just hung it from that crossbar. That seems to work pretty well. It's tied off over here. They provided some self-tapping screws. So all in all, I think we're ready to go. I'm going to bring the tractor in and see how it fits. The tractor's in, and got the chop saw and the generator in here. I'm gonna move my workbench and the table saw into here. Just kind of tuck them along this wall. I've got some lights that I'm gonna hang from the crossbars up there, and I'm gonna run some power, temporary power into here. This is all so that the tractor can have an inside storage spot for the winter and be on a battery tender, and I have some block heaters also. So this is all going to get plugged in whenever whenever it's being stored, so that it's reliable and will start when I need it to clear the driveway. Alright, so this is what we ended up with. I ended up moving this workbench here with my vise on it. And also I moved my welding table out from the basement. Is unusable in the basement. I don't have a plug for my welder in the house, so to use my welder I need to plug it into the generator, and that was out here, so this made the most sense to put that all here. I got the lawnmower in here. And I've got power running to the tent, so you can see I've actually got a battery tender up there with the tractor plugged in, so that's keeping my battery charged up. And I also put in a couple lights so I can work out here in the dark if I need to. This has come in really handy, just keeping the tractor dry, charged up, letting me do work, after 4 p.m. in the wintertime. It's not perfect. It was a little muddy, and when it rains, the water kind of flows right through here. But it's certainly better than nothing. So overall, I think this was an excellent purchase, and it wasn't too expensive. Hopefully it lasts a few years.